the event, I will share with you what we have found to be an easy way to create this and that vulnerability detection strategy that is going to be the pillar of an application security program, and furthermore about the metrics program that is going to help you to have visibility on the risks in your organization. The first thing that I would like to talk to you is about what people actually ask to me related to creating a policy. So they start thinking, okay, what should be testing today? What should I be starting to, what kind of application is going to be tested? Should I test first? What tool is the best for the job? What application security do I need to remediate these vulnerabilities or the vulnerabilities that I've been found, or to find those vulnerabilities? So to solve all of these questions, we will talk a little bit of what are our experiences with people that is our customers or people that I've been talking to during all these events. This high-level diagram is a process involved in holistic application security program. In this case, this is the diagram of our ARMOR program. This is the service that Softtek offers as a complete application security program to our customers. So today, we will be talking about the first part of this, that is the foundation. It will give us the initial steps to build a strong application security program. So going back to the question, where do I start? The first thing to do is to identify which applications in your application portfolio are more critical to the business. The vulnerability detection strategy must be aligned to the business needs, just like any other strategy, and should rely on the data classification, privacy of data, compliance requirements, data exposure, and the potential financial loss derivative of those information. A simple way to calculate those criticalities by using a risk formula, like criticality is equal to the probability of the attack times the financial impact. But unfortunately, the probability of an attack is very hard to identify, just as financial impact is also very hard to identify. So if we translate that to something that is related, directly related, that is the data exposure of the information and data sensitivity, we will have something like we see in the bottom of the slide. So we can see, or we can say that overall application criticality is directly related to the exposure and the sensitivity or classification of the data. So regardless of the simplicity of this formula, I have seen Fortune 100 companies using this successfully. This sense of simplicity is what it makes it very easy to implement, and also further granularity can be implemented as it is needed for each of the businesses. So the two key parts of this criticality are the data exposure. That means if the application is facing internet, if it's hosted in an internet, if it is restricted by IP, etc., and the data classification. So this data classification, for example, is the one that you're seeing on your screen is the Softtek data classification. So you can use the one that you're using right now to protect your intellectual property in your company, or you can create a new one based on this one or others available. You have that information and easily classify the prioritize your application based on criticality. In general, if you're doing one of these classifications, the rule of thumb is that you have among 3 to 5 data classifications, because if you have less than 3, that means that you may misclassify the information, not everything is black or white, and more than 5 is going to be very confusing for your company employees. Okay? So with this formula and with this information, we can come up to a simple matrix like this one, when we can simply relate the data sensitivity of the information related to the exposure, and we can identify different levels of criticality for our applications. That way we can simply identify which application should be tested first and should be tested last. Okay, one value added of having this strategy or this way of doing things is that the simplicity allows to create simple definition based on that, based on exposure classification business association. So you can say a high criticality application is the one that exposes confidential data to the internet, for example. So it's very easy to create this kind of or to map the information to their respective description just by following up what is the basis of this information. Okay, I want to remind you, if you have any question, please send it to us via the Q&A section in the WebEx viewer. I will try to answer during the event and during the talk hour. We will share the information to you during the Q&A session, okay? Okay. So another important question is, what is the right testing approach? This is something that many people approach to me. So what kind of testing should I use? Should I use automated tools? Should I use manual testing? What should I do for testing my applications? Because we have different approaches like depth versus breadth, that is penetration testing versus vulnerability assessment, inside out or outside in, depending on the point of view you want to check the information, the timing. The earlier the better, or if it should be one of these ones, like I mentioned, manual, automated, or hybrid. So what should I do? For this point in particular, there is a very valuable open and free resource that you can use. It's the OWASP Application Security Verification Standard. This standard is a premium guide on what kind of testing you can use to gain any specific verification level, ranging from 1 to 4, being 4 the highest. So one additional thing is that this standard explains what vulnerabilities should be tested for each level. So you can be certain that the right testing is being done for the right level, and for example, you can customize your scanning tool policies to test for them. I strongly recommend that you see this in detail by accessing the OWASP.org website. If you can see in this diagram, you will see that the tools is actually integral part of each of the different verification levels. So tools are an essential part of an application strategy, but it is important that you do not fall on the single tool trap. What is this single tool trap? Is that you create a strategy around one tool, one particular tool, and you try to fit everything in your strategy to that. So all the tools are an important part of the detection. For example, we use around 50 tools in our detection services. One single tool or suite cannot do everything. So make sure the application security testing strategy that you create leverage the right tools at the right place and time, and not always. If you see the image at the bottom of this screen, you will see a potential mapping of application criticality with verification level and thus testing needs. So this is a very simple way to create a mapping on now how kind of testing should I do depending on the criticality of the application. It's very simple to see and very simple to apply. And you should include in your detection policy not only this one, but also other important things like the detection and verification requirements, the scenarios where criteria is applicable,